Hey guys, Paul Morrow here again for OpsDesk.org doing the big news recap for Tuesday, 15 July. Here we go. So I got to mention a big story that hasn't hit a lot of radar screens yet. Now, I have to give credit where it's due. John Solomon over at Just the News is reporting this, and he's broken stories in the past. Now, full disclosure, I don't know him, but I know that he's a good reporter who breaks stories, and he's saying that in the FBI right now, there is a wide-ranging conspiracy investigation going on to that room full of documents that Kash Patel and Dan Bongino have talked about that they found when they got into the Hoover building taking over the FBI. It was a room that nobody was supposed to know was there, and there were all kinds of documents that I suspect the previous administration wanted to shred and somehow or other didn't get to. Big mistake. And apparently this could be what's underpinning the investigations into Brennan and Comey. And as we've talked about, with Comey particularly, because he's been out of office a while, you'd have a statute of limitations issue. But a conspiracy, if the thing continues, it moves the statute of limitations forward. And I have to think that that's the scenario here. I've talked about it in the past. I posited that this could be the issue last week. Well, now it looks like, according to Solomon, that that's what's going on. A conspiracy case, it moves the statute of limitations forward. And what that means is you got Brennan, you got Comey, but you might have others. You might have others, and I have a gut feeling you're talking, some of the names you may have heard. Could be Peter Strzok, could be McCabe, Bruce Orr, Paige, Strzok's girlfriend. It could be any of these. They're not all FBI, some of them are DOJ. But they found these documents, and they're saying it supports a conspiracy case, according to John Solomon's reporting. It hasn't hit yet. I think people are teasing it along, but I have a feeling at some point we're going to hear, and then Solomon is going to look prescient. I'm putting it on everybody's radar screen now. I don't have any further, but I think it bears watching. Let's move on. ICE just changed their policy relative to holding on to detainers, hanging on to illegal migrants. No more bond. In other words, you can't pay your way out. Almost certainly. Why? Because they're absconding. They're not coming back. They're not coming to their court dates, etc. It's a good policy. It's going to be challenged on due process grounds and all that crap. But I think that in this area, the executive has a lot of deference. And good. Challenge it. Take it to SCOTUS. Iron it out. I still think Congress should weigh in on this. We got both houses of the Congress, and we have the president. We should get a law on this. That'll be challenged too. But I go back to what I've been saying all along, which is as part of this re-upped migrant enforcement process, we should have more judges. That's what we need. The judges, well, let me take a sip of beer here. The immigration judges are what's missing. We got to have immigration judges to move these things along. Otherwise, you're still going to have the bottleneck. I haven't seen that they're putting more immigration judges. I would put 5 immigration judges in Alligator Alcatraz to really expedite things. That way you'll see movement. But that said, we got to get more of them coming in, vetted. That should be part of the charm offensive here from the Donald Trump administration. So I'll say, yeah, we're getting all these people out because they're illegals. But the people that left, that voluntarily deported, we've begun the process. You're going to need them for the tax base. Otherwise, Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare, they're all going to go broke. And the Dems are going to use that in the midterms and in 2028 against the Republicans. We're never going to get elected again because they're going to tell Gen Z and they're going to tell the millennials, the pot's empty, guys. You got to come to us. We'll refill it. They won't be able to, but they'll make that promise, and we're going to lose. Got to start that process. Can't get blood from a stone. We got to get some input here. That's important. Let's move on. Israel is apparently talking to other countries about taking Gazans. This must be part of the long-term Trump plan. I don't know what he's got in mind for Gaza. He's talked about making it like the Riviera of the Middle East. More power to him, but what are you going to do with 2.5 million Gazans, 2.3 million, whatever the number is? Well, France has said, according to their judge, we reported on it last night, they're all persecuted and France has to take them. There's your solution. I bet you 1 million of them end up in France. And you know what? I would do the same. Where would you rather live, in the rubbles of Gaza or in Paris? Go to Paris. Go to Lyon. That's what I would do. I know it's about having your own country and everything else, but for now, at least you'll be safe and your kids will be safe. I have a feeling we're going to see that. That's something that bears watching, 2 different nodes coming together. Adam Schiff has been referred for prosecution on mortgage fraud. The irony couldn't be thicker. I don't know what's happening with the Tish James case that our friend Sam E. Antar brought, but Schiff, this is a federal charge, unlike what was brought against Donald Trump, but turnabout's fair play, pal. This will be fun to watch. They're going to indict him. And Gavin Newsom just did a 4-hour podcast. The governor, 4 hours. Paul Morrow for the Ops Desk.